Okay, we're going to make the nut, which is that little piece that goes right up there. And again, I'll need eyeballs for this. With the strains of a toilet flushing in the background. Alright, how can I do this? Oh, I've got to make an initial marker. I'll never know where I'm at between the A and the T. There, cut that little. You can see where I'd made a. See that little shape right there? Mm-hmm. That's a bell cover for a Gibson Les Paul. Mm-hmm. Probably did that for pearly gates.
Yeah.
Now this is just some more of that plastic, that very thin plastic that I use for various things. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try. Yeah, it looks like it's about right. So what I'm doing now is I'm notching it for the strings, and that's why I've got to. I'm going to try and get it so I can see it here.
All these things up here, all this stuff up here is really...
Well, you're just a destructive son of a gun, aren't you?
No, I just...
Shut up. I'll turn this thing around this way now.
Well,
out of Monsieur Brooks's way.
Right.
All right. So what I want to try and do, I can put it on the black background so you can see it a little better. 6 little evenly spaced, hopefully.
Move your finger a little bit there.
This is one of those things, kind of like that little sign that says plan ahead. Because I'm not going to do it right. I'm fixing to screw up. So I'm going to start, oops, whack this end off and do it again. Because I can see I'm going to be off. Cut that off. Get out of here. You go a little closer to the edge here. I'll put one on the outside, and maybe that'll help me gauge it. Voila. Now, I don't know if you can zoom in on that tight enough, but there are 6 little notches. And just for the sake of depth, I'm going to measure it, eyeball it here. To cut the height of it. Pardon my head.
Well, your fingers anyway, there you go.
Make it a little bit higher than you would because you ain't going to play it anyway. There's that. Back to the super glue. This time, in order to apply it, I'm just going to squeeze a dot out there on the paper. Take some of this stuff here. And run some glue up in there. There. Sorry, I'm having to change the angle on this so that I can see it. I'm just trying to wedge that little piece right up against that fingerboard and hold it there until the glue hardens, or until I get stuck to it. There, that looks good. So now we got a nut. We got tailpiece, and I'm going to look down the length of it. No, it looks fine. I'm checking to see if it's going to hit anything in between here, so I'm trying to keep it off of that. Sometimes when you make them, they're going to hit that, and it's no big deal, but I just prefer it when they don't, because it looks a little more real. I'm going to try and wipe this up so I don't put my hand in it, and then I'll get stuck to the paper. All right, let's see. I was thinking of something else. Oh, yeah. I got to to get some straight pins out of here. These little things, short little pins. Let me get into this drawer here. I've got some of my Indian beads. And these are going to be the knobs. Going to make some knobs for these things. Get one pin and one bead. Try not to lose either. Can't see what I'm doing here. There we go. Now, another little thing, again with super glue. Gotta have to put a little glue right, just a little teensy little dab, so that
down lower.
So that bead will stick to the head of the pin. There's one knob. Swine thunder. Dadgummit. I'm not even going to look for it. Dadgummit.
Huh?
Well, I've got a better way to do it then. Voila. More super glue. Just get it wet. That's all you need to do. Doesn't need to be a big old glob of glue there. Just a little bit will do you. It's like Brill cream. Okay, one more time, because there'll be 3 knobs on these things. That's all it's got to do is touch it, and it's there. Let me put these pins away for now. We'll be using the pins later for the other strap holder here. Another pin, just like this one. And we'll use 12 pins, putting the machine heads in. I've already pre-drilled this thing out with a little drill the other day, so that's a cheat. But I just put 6 little holes in there, and those pins, I'm going to be trimming the ends off so that they'll be going, like there's one that goes up through the head, and then there's another one that goes next to it with the head out here that it'll look similar to a machine head.
Right.
I put my beads away. These ought to be pretty well set.
Do this. I don't have to hold
Okay.
this.
Are you still going?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here comes the fun part. You kind of have to guess at how long these things need to be. Oh, before I do this, I'm going to take one of these things, and I've sort of punched a little hole in the pick guard right over where the knobs are on the printed copy.
Hold on a minute now. I'm not getting this.
Okay.
Doing what?
See these little holes here? I pushed them right in the middle of each one of these little white dots, which was part of this printed out version over here. And I've sort of gouged a hole in the middle with these straight pins. And you don't want to go all the way through the guitar, of course, but you want to open a hole up because it's tough. Once you clip these off, they're not sharp anymore.
Right.
So, and I like to clip them at an angle. Give it a little over a 1/16 of an inch. And hopefully I'll be able to stab this thing in there. I'm sorry about covering up things because this is just the nature of the beast here. And there's one knob. I'm going to paint that silver out with white so that it'll look more like the plastic knobs that Strat uses. Fender uses, I should say. See, I'm taking a radical angle on this.
Yeah.
So that
you had a point.
Yeah, makes a sort of a point. Helps me guide the thing in. Oops. Where'd it go? I don't want to lose this, or I'll have to make a whole new one. Catching it up underneath my fingernail, if I can. Pushing that hole. Get in there, you little bugger. There we go. There's two. And then just do the same thing all over again. Might make that one a little longer. This hole seemed to be a little weaker, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer so it'll hit more wood. If they do come out, you can always put a little super glue up underneath there, inside the shaft. This is the final one. If I can just stick, oops, my plate came loose. Have to re-glue that. Get in there, darn it, yeah. There. Now let me re-glue that plate because it lifted on me. See? Little sucker. After I made it perfect size for it and everything, and it went and did that for me. There, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Now, I think what we need to do next, because we're getting close to the nut cutting here, I think I'll go ahead and put the frets on. You can't do that. You can't do the strings before you do the frets. So, a little bottle of silver paint. And I've got a super fine little brush here. If this is it, I think that's it. Hope that's it. Yeah, it's going to be it. Now, to keep from having a catastrophe, I'll try and move this over here so you can see it better. I'm lining this thing up with the picture, and I'm going to use it as a guide for where the frets go. Pardon my head.
You're right.
You don't need a lot. The finest brush you can get is the best brush. They don't have to be real pronounced either. Just a suggestion of it is enough.
Mm-hmm.
But the metallic element will help it be seen. Without this picture here underneath, I'd have a tendency to start getting smaller before I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do get thinner together as you go higher. Can't really see what's going on down on that printout anymore, so I'm faking it. But I think I'm doing okay. object of the game is to just have a nice illusion. It's not supposed to be perfect. It would be nice if it was. But it never will be. And under this visor, opti-visor here, I can see the mistakes or the imperfections a whole lot easier. And this, but when you take it off, it looks pretty darn good, you know. So don't get freaked out when you see, oh, that's a big glob of paint there. I need to smooth it out. And you'll work it and it'll get too big. So there. And now,
there we go.
you can see the metallic on there. I'm going to seal this off so it doesn't dry out.
Okay, you want to stop